Alright guys, so today's video is going to be going over the 5 cons for me for driving a classic muscle car, right? And of course this could be applied to many other things. It don't have to be a muscle car. It could be a classic, truck. It could be an old Datsun. It don't matter. Anything old, carbureted, these are pretty much going to, go to all of those. And I figured there's no better way to talk about that other than me driving my classic muscle car. But first, I need to buy a mic because the last video of me driving a Charger and trying to talk was it wasn't that good. It was hard to hear me just because of the drone inside the car, which was also caused by me having the windows up, because I did another little test video afterwards and I had the windows down and it sounded a little bit better. Not much better, but it sounded a little bit better. So figure go buy a mic first and then go over the 5 cons. Nothing about the car has changed. Literally, I don't think I've done anything to the car besides I remade this upper radiator hose just because I didn't like the welds that I had on the last one. They looked a little janky just because there was the fit up between this pipe and then that pipe and that pipe was a little off. And so I redid that, and then it was also leaking around these couplers just because I didn't put any type of bead or anything. I didn't roll a bead on the end of the stainless pipe for it to catch on the coupler. So, because you know how radiator inlets and thermostat housings have that little flared piece on them to help catch the radiator hose. So what I did was, this is 1.5 inch pipe, and I still have some 1 3/4 inch pipe left over from building the exhaust on the Harley and stuff. So basically what I did was I don't even think I have any more. I think I used it all. This is some 1.5 inch pipe, and then yeah, here's some right here. So I just took some 1 3/4 inch pipe, made sure it would fit over it, which it obviously does, like that. And then all I did was I cut out, say I would cut this on that weld right there, and then I would take this half and I just split it and cut a little section out and then squeeze it together over this, so that way it was a tight fit all the way around. I welded it to the 1.5 inch pipe all the way around, and then I curved the edge of it so that way the coupler would slide over it easy, and it acts as a little band and it helps seals. Now I have no radiator leak from there. You know what I'm saying? I still have the one in the head from that header bolt that's stripped out, but there's no fixing that. So yeah, car's been doing good. Took it to a car show, and there was another 70 Charger there coincidentally, and thought I had the only one, but guess I don't, which is cool. The dude was super chill. It was an all original triple black big block car, so it was actually a pretty rare car. But yeah, so I'm gonna go buy a mic and then I'm going to bring y'all back. Alright guys, so I bought a mic, but this camera, I was thinking that the mic hookup was just gonna be a aux plug-in. I didn't even look at the camera. I just assumed that it'd just be an aux cord. So I bought an aux cord mic, but this camera takes a different plug-in for the mic. So yeah, we're rocking without a mic this video. I got a new mic coming in. Should be in tomorrow. car is brand new, right? So, I mean, new brakes all the way around, new ball joints, new upper control arms. I got a new third member in the rear end, so all new fluid in there. I mean, the whole nine pretty much. But one of the bad things is, I don't know how long this motor was sitting for before I bought it. The dude said a month. Now, he had fired it up a month before I bought it, but the car that it came out of was wrecked, so I know the car was sitting for a long time before he sold it. So, yeah, so mechanical props, it's pretty much anything at any minute, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might be driving fine. It might be driving fine right now, but I mean, I could go to fire it up, leave it work, and there could be a problem. Also, to go with the whole mechanical problems is worrying. So like if you're driving a newer car, and say if you smell like somebody's clutch, you know, or somebody's brakes or something, in that Jeep I don't even think about it, right? And that Jeep, my Jeep is a stick shift, so it has a way higher probability of like having a clutch smell coming from it than this car does. But if I smell like a clutch or brakes or something while I'm driving that Jeep, I don't even think about that. Like it might be a Jeep, you know what I'm saying? But if I smell the slightest thing while like I'm driving this car, like I'm automatically like going over stuff in my head, like what could be the problem. Like I'm looking at like my oil pressure and my temperature gauges, like everything, you know what I'm saying? Like just to make sure that this car isn't don't want to daily drive them for that reason alone. Like that reason alone is enough to like make you not want to daily drive the car, right? And then the last one we just had an example of is kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Is gas mileage and the fact that people want to talk to you, right? So people really want to talk to you like all the time. That dude that pulled up next to me as we were driving, he said that he really liked the car and everything, which I mean doesn't bother me at all, right? But that could be a con for somebody, say like if you're not really a people person or something, then you know, if you're not really a people person, then daily driving this old car and having people talk to you all the time like they do about old cars, probably not going to be your good days, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're like a really like, if you have like a high anxiety level about like talking to people or something, then you're not going to want to daily drive this car, because I promise you every single time I drive this car, somebody says something. Like even if I just run to the gas station, like somebody is saying something about the car, you know what I'm saying? But I don't mind at all. It don't bother me, but yeah, if you have a high anxiety, then I see how that can bother people, right? And then also going with that is gas mileage. So, you know, these old cars do not get good gas mileage. Like the average old car probably gets somewhere around like 10 to 11 miles to the gallon, right? Which sounds crappy, and it is, but I mean, it's not like terrible. I mean, that is terrible, but it's not like, I mean, it could always be worse, I guess. But you get 10 to 11 on average, and then if you really like dial in and like tune in the carburetor, you can get up to, you know, 13, 14 probably. Like if you're changing like main jets and air bleeds and like, you know, idle jets and everything, like getting it real dialed in, you can probably get it up to a little bit higher. But yeah, don't daily drive, you know, an old carbureted car if like with the mindset that you're gonna get good gas mileage. That is not gonna happen. You know, newer cars are getting, you know, 25, 30 miles to the gallon. You know, even like newer muscle cars are getting like probably like high teens, like 15, 16 miles to the gallon. Like you're not gonna happen in an old car, you know what I'm saying? Unless you put like fuel injection on it or something, you know. But yeah, so that's my 5 biggest cons of daily driving a muscle car. And of course, everybody's gonna be different. They might not apply to you, but those 5 generally apply to pretty much every classic muscle car. Every classic muscle car, or even classic truck, classic, you know, Datsun or whatever, is gonna apply to those. Just because, yeah, pretty much a one size fits all. But the next video I'm gonna do is gonna be 5 pros of driving a classic muscle car, which was way harder to come up with. There's way more cons. I could list an easy like 10 cons of driving a classic muscle car, but pros is a little bit harder. But that's gonna be all for today. Hope y'all enjoy it.